What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA, and this is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 93, UFC Vegas 91. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host, Timothy Troiano. We are back after a week off, after UFC 300 and the Max Holloway round 5 KO, which was amazing. Great week 2 weeks ago. We're looking to keep it going here with UFC Vegas 91. Not the best card, not the best props as well, honestly, but we're always digging. We're always looking. So, Tim, it's not the best card, like I said. Now, don't shit on it yet, but how do you feel about this UFC Vegas 91 card?
I just feel like there's a couple of good fights this card, and I think that we can concentrate on those ones and not worry about the shit and just focus on the positive with this one, because I think that they ran out of really good fights, man. I mean, they had 13 excellent fights in UFC 300, so I think they're pretty spread thin for the next month or so.
Yeah, I mean, that was an amazing card. I was there in person, so I have to say that was one incredible card. With that being said, let me go over to my chat. I still have a cough. This freaking, I think it's allergies at this point, but they're really annoying. Mushroom, first one in the house. What is up? Elijah, what's up? Sergio B, going to be a good weekend. I hope you're right, my man. There will be blood. Best show around, hands on. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for the love. At the park watching, says Das Files. What is up, my man? Thank you for joining. Bufu on the beat. What's poppin', Narco and Tim? Good to have you guys back again. Thank you. I appreciate you, my man. Jay Watt, let's get it, people. I'm feeling the good energy. Yes, we love good energy over here. Dixon, Mirror on the wall. Who's got the hottest betting show of them all? Narco and Tim. Thank you. Appreciate you, Dixon, for the kind words. Joshua, long week off, and now the bots are back. Let's effing go. Yes, sir. Let's effing go. What else do we have here? William Tyner, what is up? Let's cash. Christian, the GOATs, let's cash. Thank you, sir. DA07, which fight will win snooze fest of the night? We will talk about that. Timothy Johnson, what is up, my man? Craig Crowley, also in the house. Azure Blue, we show up anyway. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. What up, MMA Ricky in the house. Justin Villegas, real men wear silver and black, not yellow. Uh-oh. I think that's a shot at you, Tim. I don't know what that means, but can tell Narcos watches ball. Perfect pronunciation. Thank you, man. 2 times catching this live. Happy to be here. Happy to have you, my friend. And with that being said, 122 live viewers. We will start out here. First fight of the night. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 9-3 Maheshate Hayasar versus the 23-11 Gabriel Benitez and Timothy. Start us off here.
Oh, man, this is a confusing one for me. I have a couple that I think it could go a couple different ways, but I lean on the Maheshate side. If you'd have told me that this is Gabe Benitez 4 years ago, I would be on the Benitez side, but he just is not looking good in the last couple of years in these fights. The Jim Miller fight, striking, and he just looked slower. He just didn't look like he was taking damage as well in that fight. Just a bunch of different things. I think Gabe Benitez was a well-rounded fighter, but I just think he's just taking too much damage at this point in the game, and he's kind of a shell of what he used to be. That being said, Maheshate coming off of a KO loss to me, it's kind of interesting to see like what style is he going to come out with. I think it's possible that he might start off a little bit slower and not go full rabies mode to trying to look for his kill shots in this fight, like he's done in other fights. So I'm going to go with Maheshate by decision is plus 300 and KO 3 is plus 1100. I think that it's possible that he could just stay a little bit safer than normal and just win a decision against him. I think there's a possibility that he could get him a finish late.
All right. Yeah, for me, You know, at this point, looking at Benitez, like he has good striking still. I don't mind his striking. I think he's got very good kicks per usual, a very, very hard kicker. Has some decent power in his hands, nothing special, but has decent power. Um, but man, the guy's getting up there. He's not old, but he's 35. And it just, to me, watching him of late, he just doesn't look great. His wins of late have come against Justin James and Charlie Ontiveros, who have no business being in the UFC, right? Meanwhile, you got Maheshate, lost to Rafa Garcia, and he got grappled there. He wasn't much of a stand-up fight, because Rafa Garcia grappled him. But then you look at how he countered Steve Garcia and just absolutely put him out. And, last fight, he was doing okay in the stand-up, to be honest, versus Borishev, who's a very, very good striker. He landed some good shots on him. But Borishev caught him and he knocked him out, right? I just think he's going to catch, and it's not even a hot take. I'm sorry. I think he's going to catch Benitez. Looking at Benitez, Jim Miller fight, it was close on the feet, but Miller did land a lot, more than he had to. The one, decent power puncher and David Onama put him out in the first round. Then you look at Sadiq, he put him out in the first round. I kind of put this guy Maheshate up there with those guys. Might even have a little more power, to be honest. And he's young. He's at fight ready. He's a big 55er. The stand-up, the only way I see Benitez competing, honestly, is if he chops the legs. But, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that here. It's southpaw against orthodox. Maybe he kicks the inside part of the leg. I don't know. But, yeah, man, I think he's going to get KO'd here, and I think it's round 1, round 2. I don't even think it's getting late. Round 1, it's plus 300, just round 1 in general, and on Hard Rock if you can get it there. Round 2 KO is 750 on FanDuel. I don't think it goes to 3, to be honest. I think this fight ends early. Maheshate, yeah, that's another thing Dixon said. I mean, he looked massive at faceoffs, and way bigger than Benitez. And let's not forget one more thing that's important, right? Benitez fought at 45 before. Like, this guy's probably not even a true 55er. The only reason he's at 55 now is probably he's older. The weight cut is just getting to him, right? And he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna fight at 55. So that's another thing, man. I just think Maheshate is going to catch him with a counter here. He's got a very nice pullback right hand. That step back right hand is very, very nice for Maheshate. I can honestly see it off of a kick too. Like maybe when Benitez is throwing some kind of naked leg kick. The one thing I will say, Benitez's body kicks are nasty, dude. Like they're absolutely nasty. But I can't. Benitez in 2024 is no bueno, man. I think he's going to get knocked out. Let's move on. Fight number 2. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 6-1 Ivana Petrovic versus the 19-7 Liang. Now, everybody's going to cook me for this, but Liang, I have a bet on her at plus 380. Small bet. Just because I think she's dangerous early. She goes for subs. She's had opportunities against other girls early, right? Girls that are better than Petrovic, in my opinion. Now, she didn't get it done, but she was in like decent positions, man, to get, some subs in there. And we've seen Petrovic on the ground. Like, she puts herself in bad spots, man. She's not, like, she has good grappling, but I think her problem is she makes mistakes. She's young. She's green, right? She only has 7 fights. Meanwhile, Liang has a ton of fights, 26. We seen Petrovic last time out, and this is the thing. I don't think Luana Carolina is easy to take down. That's kind of the issue she had with Carolina. She's long, she's big. You know, she had trouble with her, and you know, she even got reversed at one point. You know, Carolina was on top. The thing is with now Liang is she's dangerous early. Like, it doesn't matter who she's faced. She's been actually pretty dangerous against all of these girls. Cardinalosi, maybe not Juarez Gomez, I don't remember, but Aldrich as well. You know, she gets these fights to the ground, and then she's extremely like noodly and long, and like she just somehow gets to their back and gets in these good positions, but she doesn't finish, right? In the UFC. Petrovic might make a mistake early, you know, I don't know. But the kicker is, if she survives early, Liang just looks toast in round 2 and 3. Like, she just is. So I'm going to go with KO 2, Petrovic 750, and KO 3, 1300. I'm not going sub. I'm not going sub here because I do think it's going to be ground and pound. And like when Liang gets stuck on bottom, like she just stuck. And I think this girl's just going to pound her out. So if you're going to take Liang, which I have at money line, I think round 1 is not a bad look. Round 1 sub in general is not a bad look. I think it's like 18-1. I think that's how I would go, to be honest. But yeah, Petrovic 2-3. I think that's, you know, she. The other thing is she looked much bigger as well at face-off. So, what do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, I don't have much to add. It's a good breakdown. Only thing I would say with Na Liang is, like, I mean, she had 3 out of 4 takedowns against JJ Aldridge, and Aaron Blanchfield went 0 for 4. So in the first round, man, she is dangerous. So I don't disagree that if you're on that side, that round 1 I think is 11-1 and 18-1 for sub is really good lines. I mean, that's her path. She's had to be carried to her corner after round 1 before, which is pretty fucking funny. I don't think that she's, sometimes you can see fighters change and you can see them change their style and things like that. I don't even think that, like, if she comes out reserved, that she'll be able to maintain her gas. Like, I know that she comes out hard, but yeah, I'm on the same ones. I'm on Petro round 2, round 3. I do think that it's most likely a KO as well. Round 2 alone is 300. Round 3 is plus 650. But I agree with you. I think 700 and 1300 would be the ways to go. And I do I honestly think it's round 2, most likely. Unless the only way that it's not round 2 is if Petrovic is, like, extremely passive in the positions. I think that she should be able to get positions, and it just really depends on how aggressive she is.
Yeah. I pretty much agree. Fight number 3. It is in a lightweight division. It is the 14-2 James Ilan versus the 13-6 late replacement Chris Padilla. Tim, this one's yours.
Full disclosure on this one, I only was able to tape one fight of Taco Padilla, and the rest was kind of just wiki capping from some of his losses. Like the Gabe Green sub is, I don't care who you are, if you're getting subbed by Gabe Green, it's not a good look. And I think he's kind of like, it seems like he's kind of like a, tries to be like skilled in each area, but just not really good in any area. Like, he's not like horrible anywhere, but he's not really good anywhere either. Was what I kind of saw on him. And I think that Lantop, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but I think he's just a much, much better striker. And I feel like his ability to, like, he's going these shots to the body in most of these fights, and he's really attacking the body. And I just feel like a short notice fight, if you get a guy that tries to grapple, maybe doesn't get his grappling game going, and then catches a couple body shots, I feel like a late finish is there for Lantop. I feel like round 2, round 3, KO 2, KO 3 for him would be the ones I'd go with.
Yeah. I gave this one out earlier today. It's 550 and 1,000. KO 2 and 3. They suck. But Ilan Top gets a lot of guys out there later in fights. He He honestly, like, I think that fight should have been stopped against Malik Lewis. I mean, the way he dropped a couple of times, like, the ref could have easily stopped that fight. He didn't. But when you look at Ilan Top, like, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights that are finished in round 2 and 3. Another one like the Malik Lewis one, another couple of them that went to decision. I mean, he was absolutely putting it on these guys. And it's the body work, man. He kicks to the body very hard. He digs to the body very hard. He has relentless pressure. We are in the apex. Chris Padilla, I don't really mind the guy. I don't think he's an awful fighter. It's first of all, he's much smaller. That's one thing. I looked at face-offs. Second of all, takes his fight on short notice. Third is he needs to fight to get to the ground. I don't know if he can do it. And in the clinch, I think he gets cooked. He literally gets cooked in the clinch here. And so that's the problem. Maybe he's good early, but I don't think it's going to be good for him late. I mean, this 2 to 3, these 2 to 3 props in this card, I just have a lot of them. And, there's just not much value anywhere else that I'm looking. And Padilla's wrestling is okay, honestly. I don't think it's bad, but like I looked at the Malik Lewis, and I think Malik Lewis is way more explosive, way more athletic, and he had trouble getting Ilan Top down. You know what I'm saying? And if you do get Ilan Top down, he tends to work right back up right away. So, I mean, listen, I said this. If you're going to play Padilla, I think it's not bad to play his submission prop. That submission prop is insane on Padilla. That's how he wants to grapple. He wants to get you to the ground and try to sub you. Yet his submission prop, I think there was in some places plus 1,300. Like it's and the one thing I do know is when Ilan Top is on the ground and he's flattened out or he got subbed before by Tukto. Like he can get subbed. He's not very good on the ground. So that line is definitely wide at plus 1,300 or 1,100 or whatever it is. It shouldn't be that wide. But I do think Ilan Top wins. I do think he wins in round 2 and 3 here. So that's what I'm going to give. 2-3 KO on Ilan Top here. And let's move on. Fight number 4. It is in the strawweight division. It is the 13-4 Caitlin Souza versus the 6-2 Marick-Man. And I went back and forth on this one. Souza coming off a big knee injury, like a bad one, less than a year ago. The one thing I will say is like Souza was fighting outside of her weight class, 125. I mean, this girl's tiny. Like when they were face-to-face, they were literally the same size. And Marick-Man is a midget. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the heck are you doing at 125? She's fought there a lot. That's the crazy part. It's not like it was only this UFC fight. She's fought there a bunch of times. And I don't think she should be there. I even think she's fought at 35, which is fucking bonkers to me. Yeah, she fought at 35. Like, what are you doing up there? You know what I'm saying? So, when I watch her regional tape, right? Like even against Christina Williams last time out, she's getting grappled a lot. She's getting taken down a lot. And I think part of the problem is she's just not physical enough for 25. She's just too small. Look at her weight for that. She weighed in at 123.6. That should tell you that she's not a 25er. And she's fighting these bigger girls, and they're kind of out muscling her. She fought. We saw what Karine Silva did to her, right? She just ragdolled her to the ground, and she did that Z-lock or whatever the hell you want to call it. But it was so easy to get her to the ground because she was so much weaker, right? I don't think she's going to have that problem here with Marick-Man. That's the thing. Like, going down to 115, Marick-Man is just, honestly, earlier in the week, I'm like, how can I play Marick-Man here? But I can't. She's awful, man. She's literally awful. This, from a prop perspective, this fight sucks. I really don't know where to go, to be honest. I mean, the only way I see it is if Souza catches her in some weird sub, honestly, while they're grappling, and Souza's a brown belt and Marick-Man is a purple. I mean, maybe a KO, but honestly, I see a little bit of value on plus 1,000 Souza sub just because it's 10-1. I know there's going to be grappling, right? I know there's going to be grappling. One girl's a brown belt. I know she doesn't have a lot of subs, but fucking Marick-Man is constantly trying to push the grappling. Maybe she catches her, she catches her in something and subs her. But, the girl she's really faced, when you look at her, all these girls that she's faced, they're all really strikers, no real good grapplers. So I'm going to go with Souza submission here at plus 1,000. Tim, what do you have?
Yeah, I agree with the breakdown on Souza, just with the weight and just being small. This being at 115 is pretty big. I feel like Marick-Man's striking is tragic, and I feel like that's pretty much like, if you're telling me that Souza's going to be able to keep the fight on the feet, then I think that it's possible that she could get a KO, especially attritionally late. I just think that Marick's like one of those fighters that's going to try to just keep going forward and try to get to the clinch and just keep eating punches as she's doing it. And I just feel like Souza KOs plus 390, KO 2-3 combined is plus 800, KO 2 is plus 1400, KO 3 is plus 1900. I think she could get her out of there. I think it's most likely a decision, but I would not be shocked if she attritionally beats the living shit out of her.
Yeah, I mean, she could. I kind of was impressed that she survived Knudsen, because I think Knudsen's a lot more vicious. But then again, Souza does have a lot of knockouts, so maybe she gets her out 2-3. You might be right. All right, let's move on. Fight number 5. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 10-6 Don'Tale Mayes versus the 8-1 Caio Machado. And Tim, yeah, this one's yours.
This is just the biggest.
You got the buzzing noise going.
This is the biggest piece of shit fight. I'm sorry. This is absolutely terrible. I have zero confidence anytime I bet or even talk about Mayes. Don'Tale Mayes is just a guy that you just have absolutely no idea what he's going to do. He's not a smart fighter. Doesn't fight to his winning conditions, and then you go to Caio Machado, and you're like, it's like, okay, are we overvaluing a loss again? Which is so easy to do as bettors, where you say, oh, he fought close as a big dog against Mick Parkin, who kind of sucks. It's like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but got easily grappled. Once Mick knew what he needed to do, he easily could take him down. So to me, this is just a heavyweight slop fest where you could see 16 different things happen in this fight. So I'm not super confident in this one. Ends by split, fine, plus 350. Mayes by points, plus 260. Mayes by split, plus 900, but not confident at all.
Yeah. I don't think this fight is any good, to be honest. But listen, it's heavyweights. It's a small cage. Okay. Who has Machado faced that has any type of power in their hands? Nobody. Honestly, he's faced literally nobody that has power. Parkin has no power in his hands. The other guy before him at the Contender Series, absolutely no power in his hands. Meanwhile, Don'Tale Mayes, I mean, whatever he is, like, he has some power in his hands. And it's heavyweight. It's a small cage. Don'Tale Mayes' KO is plus 390. This Machado guy is terrible on the feet. Like, he gets clipped a lot. Not saying Mayes is very good and himself, but I do think he has more power on the feet. And the one thing with Don'Tale Mayes is I think his chin has kind of been tested in the UFC, right? He's been getting cracked a lot by decent hitters. and he's taken it well. Like the only times, well, I think he has been KO'd once, right? Yeah, ground and pound. Alan Crowder a while back, but look at it. The other losses are submissions, It's not easy to get him out on the feet, like knock him out. Meanwhile, Machado, I mean, it's a big question mark. Like, can he take a punch? Like, he could take a punch from Mick Parkin, maybe, but can he take a punch from Dontel Mays? I don't know, honestly. So, also looking at some of the Parkin fight, the way he got taken down, if Mays gets into like a dominant position, I also think ground and pound is possibly live. I don't trust Mays at all. I wouldn't touch his money line. I wouldn't touch any money line on this fight. If you touch a money line on this fight, guys, guess what? There's a number for you to call. It's called 1-800-GAMBLER. Go freaking call it because you have a problem. So with that being said, I mean, Mays KO is 390. I think it's good. Honestly, I think that line's a bit off. At the end of the day, these guys are heavyweights. They're in a small cage. You're giving me 4-1 almost on a KO on a line that's even money. I'm going to take it, So, yeah, I think KO has value here for Dontel Mays. Let's move on. Fight 6. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 15-7 Austin Hubbard versus the 8-1 Michael Figlak. Nothing crazy here, to be honest, outside of I do think Hubbard decision has value 275. It's a used Lambo, but the way Perez was throwing Figlak around in that last fight, it gave me big pause on this guy because honestly, I had high hopes for Figlak. I thought he was when I watch his Cage Warriors, I thought he was a good fighter. He's a well-rounded fighter. He has good cardio. He looks strong in the cage. When he fought Oben Elliott, he was out grappling Oben Elliott easily. And now we see Elliott, he's a welterweight, and he was out grappling him easily, taking him down. But then I watch him against Fares Ziam, who's not a grappler, and he's absolutely getting tossed all over the place. And I'm like, what the fuck? What happened to this guy? So now it's like Hubbard is not very good at anything, but he's one of those guys he's a jack of all trades, master of none, Tim. And he is pretty strong. Like, he looks pretty strong. And I think he's more physical than a guy like Fares Ziam. So you're telling me then, like, a physical guy that more physical than Fares Ziam, who can actually wrestle a bit too, is now facing a guy that got absolutely ragdolled by Fares Ziam. Now, maybe something's wrong with him in that fight. I don't know. But that's what I have to go with. That's the tape I have. And when he's fighting these guys in Cage Warriors, they're all noodly guys. They have no wrestling. They're playing off their backs. Like, I don't think this bodes well for him. Now, on the feet, I do think Figlak is the better striker. So if he can keep it on the feet, I think, yeah, there's a path there. But I do think he can get taken down, man. The way Ziam was throwing him around, I think Hubbard can easily take him down. So decision at 275, I mean, I don't know what split is. I didn't look at that, but I think it's probably a shitty line, to be honest.
The end split?
Yeah.
350.
Yeah, it's a shitty line. I just rather go 275 because I could see where, Hubbard just kind of big brothers him, and wins a decision easily. So give me 275. It's on Bet Rivers. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
I don't really have that much to add to that because I'm on the same thing. I have also split for Hubbard at plus 800 just in case he gets some grappling going, loses some striking on the feet, and a judge just has their head up their ass watching a guy strike a couple times and then get dominated on the ground. Yeah, man, Fares, if you're getting dominated by Fares Ziam and he controls you for over 5-6 minutes in any capacity, that's just such a terrible fucking red flag. I mean, it's gigantic. like you said, I think Figlak is having success against Euro trash grapplers that are just dog shit. And if you have if you could be like a 3 or 4 out of 10 in grappling and cage warriors, you'll have success. So yeah, I don't think that that's like a huge thing that he's having some success there. Yeah, Hubbard by points and Hubbard by split at plus 800 are good for me.
All right. Let's move on. Fight number 7. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 28-11-1 Ronnie Yaya versus the 23-6 Victor Henry. This one's yours.
Yeah, I think that the shittier the cards get when we get these like kind of shittier prop days, I find that you and I are like way more on the same pages on some of these fights. Like, cause it's just like, all right, there's only a couple of options in each fight. And to me, I think that this is just a blatantly obvious one. Like just how do you get to Yaya at this point? Like, how do you get, like, dude's 40 years old. He's getting murdered in his last fight. And now he's going to be going up against a guy that is an all around very solid fighter. He's got good grappling, not a terrible wrestler, good jiu-jitsu to stay safe if he does get taken down or if he's on top. And then most importantly, he's just 17 levels higher striking, like just way, way, way better striker, way faster at this game. I mean, honestly, had Victor Henry had Ronnie Barcelos on fucking skates a few times in that fight. And I feel like attritional round 2, round 3 after Yaya tries to get in quick and tries to get him down in the first round and then just starts to gas and show that I think it was at 135 pounds at these guys. I mean, you can't be 40 years old and fight it with this weight class. Like this is just like super, super old. So I think this is the end of the game for Ronnie. And I think Victor KOs him in round 2 or 3. Round 2 is plus 550. Round 3 is plus 950 on just like plain old rounds. KO 3 is like plus 1200. KO 2 is plus 650. So.
Yeah, I'm all over Victor Henry here. Like 2-3. When you look at him, Victor Henry 2-3, the Gravely fight, he was hurting Gravely late in that fight. He was close to finishing him. Barcelos, same shit. He finished Albert Morales. He finished all these. He's got so many late round finishes, right? And then you look at the other side and you say, Ronnie Yaya, 39 years old, talking about retirement. He said after the Montel Jackson fight, he really thought about retirement. Watching the Kung Ho Kang fight in the beginning of round 3, he's literally on death's doorstep. And then Kung Ho Kang drops him and decides to go into his guard like a moron instead of telling him get back up. This guy is honestly washed, man. He's fucking washed. There's nothing else to say. I listened to his interview, and he tells me how he's got this really bad neck injury. He's got shooting pain down his arm. That's why he pulled out of the Alateng fight 6 months ago. He's had this problem since 2002 or something way back. He's had this problem. It always creeps up on him. He's 39 years old. This is a fucking bad matchup for him, man. Because Victor Henry, first of all, he's a weasel. He's hard to take down. He's very good on the ground. He's got very good scrambles. He's hard to keep down. It's just a bad matchup, dude. And it's not like Victor Henry's like the best striker, but he has a ton of volume. He'll keep coming. All these things are bad for Ronnie Yaya, man. And writing is on the wall for me here. 2-3 KO. I don't think it's sub. I don't think he's going to sub him. I know people think he might sub. I don't think he subs Yaya. 800 and 1100. I think it's a beating. And I want to say, this is my take. It's going to be a referee stoppage. It's not even going to be 111 KOs. The referee's just going to stop it standing or something. Just too much punishment. He's going to say, okay, Yaya, stop it. Good night. Go home. Retire. Do what you need to do. You are been in the game for a long time. You are washed. And that's it. So It's 800 and 1100. I like Henry KO 2-3. You know, his 2-3 in general, I played earlier in the week, but the lines have gone down. So I don't like him anymore. I don't like, 700 or whatever it is for round
Plus
3.
plus 950 and plus 550. Like I do think
that sucks.
Yeah, I mean it's like compared to say like the KO
950 is good. 950 is fine.
Yeah, 3. I do think that it is possible that he club and subs him, or that he, I do think I'm not, or if that he just is gassed, he's just death gassed, and he like. I do think like it's not like Henry is not good like grappling wise. Like it's the same thing with like Kong. Like Kong probably could have subbed him if he wasn't a fucking idiot. Like he just decided to win. I think Ronnie's. It's one of those situations where he's so old and he could be so gassed that it's just like it's a death gas sub as opposed to.
Yeah, but this guy is like I don't know, man.
I don't think that he.
But the problem, I'll tell you the problem with club and sub. In this particular one, because if he clubs him, right, and he hurts him, you know what Ronnie's going to do? Flop to his back.
Yeah, go to his back.
How the fuck is he going to sub him? He's not subbing him from top there.
Yeah.
And then he's going to tell him, get up, which I think Henry's smart enough. He's a smart fighter. He's going to tell him, get the fuck back up so I can kick your ass some more and stop you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think KO 2. I think KO 2-3 as well, and I've already got bets on him. So like I agree with you. I just think that it's not like. It wouldn't completely shock me.
Yeah, I told you I played 2-3 at those lines, 650 and 900. And I have KO 2-3, which is what I really think it's going to be, Yeah. All right, let's move on. Fight number 8. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 33-15-1 Tim Means versus the 9-2 Uros Medic. I mean, I think Uros Medic wins. I think Uros Medic probably KOs him early. But can someone please explain why Tim Means is plus 1,200 by KO? Is there like a reason? Is like Uros Medic the most durable guy in the world? Or what am I missing here? Because fucking Tim Means is a finisher, bro. Like this guy can KO almost anybody, because he's dangerous. His elbows are dangerous. He goes for the kill, he's nasty in the clinch. The guy has 20 wins by knockout out of 33 wins. I know he's older, but with age, your power doesn't go away. Your elbows and shit, he still knows how to strike. And we've seen Medic, like, if fucking Semmelsberger knew how to finish his lunch, he'd probably finish him, but he doesn't know how to finish his lunch. Semmelsberger hurts everybody, but can't finish anybody. It's the opposite with Tim Means. If he hurts you, he finishes you a lot of the times. So you're fucking telling me KO is 1,200 now? Why? For what reason? Like, it absolutely doesn't make sense to me. I'm telling you that Medic probably wins and knocks him out. But 12-1 on Means to knock him out? Fuck no, man. And I'll say, round 2, round 3 KO for Means, it's astronomical. I don't know what it is. 30, 40-1, 50-1. What the fuck is that? Like Means, if he gets out of the first round, he's fucking dangerous, bro, later. Because he keeps coming. He keeps coming. He'll make it a dogfight. And guess what? Honestly, outside of like the Semmelsberger fight where it was, kind of a dogfight, I've never really seen Medic in a dogfight, The one against that guy last fight, I mean, he just took him down and destroyed him, right? Jalen Turner took him down and, destroyed him. But we've never seen him in a dogfight. And you know what? If the further this fight goes, I can guarantee you Means will make it a dogfight. And he's been there and he's done that. So, I don't know, man. 1,200 KO is absolutely nuts, in my opinion. What do you have here, Tim?
Yeah, your lines on the KO 2-3 are plus 2,900 and plus 3,300. So, not bad. Yeah, I mean, I could maybe make the argument that fight against Semmelsberger was kind of him fighting through some major adversity, but that's the only one really. And like you said, Semmelsberger just literally hurts everybody and never fucking does anything after that. Like he's one of the worst in the world at doing that. He's probably got like 6 or 7 guys dropped, and he's got maybe 1 KO in those situations. For me, it's like, I don't know. I kind of think that, like you said, I kind of think it's a Medic KO, but there's a couple things I can't get over. That every time Tim Means gets hurt, it's like he goes, please don't punch me, and sticks out his neck like beyond belief. Like it's like the the easiest upon easy sub ever if he gets really, really rocked. And he just shoots, or he gets knocked down, and then it's just like just fucking take my neck. So it's not like Medic doesn't have any subs. I mean, I think he's got 2 subs where he was on his back and then got an arm triangle or something like that. So it's not that. I more would see a club and sub. I don't think that he's going to sub Means from his back in those situations, but I could see a club and sub, and I could see a like a round 2 for Medic. Like round 2 sub 800, and then sub 2 is plus 2,700. I do think like maybe Means can survive a round with him striking, and then I don't think he survives in round 2 though. So I like Medic round 2, and then if you want to sprinkle at the subs on that, I don't hate that at all.
I will say, if Medic ends up on the bottom, he's fucking in trouble.
He's fucked. Yeah.
He's gonna eat some elbows. He's gonna eat. I mean, Means on top is pretty fucking.
Yeah, he can't. I don't think he'll be able to get up without getting massively beat the shit in that.
Yeah, stream. I don't think that's a good thing for him if he's on bottom. And
no, I think it's a club and sub. I think he could drop him, get him. He's on a knee, and then he just takes his back and takes his neck, and
maybe
that's it.
Okay, I could see it. Medic is long too. So the crazy part is when they were face off, Means looked bigger. And Medic used to fight at 85. Means is a big fucker, man.
Yeah, he's trying.
Let's move on. Fight number 9. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 14-5 Jonathan Pierce versus the 11-2 David Onama. Great fight here, Tim. This one's yours.
Pierce is I like his game a lot. I know that he's got flaws. I had a bet last time on him where I was kind of screaming at the TV. I think probably a bunch of people did, against Joe Anderson Brito. And, I think that the guys that you got to worry about with Pierce are guys that can really, really relentlessly handle him, grappling them, and have incredible wrestling and/or a good front choke series, because he can make mistakes going in, and he's going to continually just keep trying to get you down over and over and over. He's got the gas. Pierce has the gas to just wrestle his ass off for 15 minutes. He's got very good abilities to pass guards, advance positions, ground and pound is really solid. Sets up positions by going for sub attempts, and then moves and advances. And I feel like 2 fights with Onama that are just gigantic red flags. The Mason Jones fight is one, and the Nate Landwehr fight is the other. Just comes in. If he comes into range and he sits down and punches, he's going to get taken down over and over and over. Like if he dances, the only way I think that he could avoid being taken down in this fight is if he dances around and just counters and counters and counters and counters, and is crazy athletic and uses his athleticism and speed to just completely like run around the cage. I don't think that he's going to do that. So to me, it's like, can Onama bonk him? Can Onama, does he have the power and the athleticism to do that? Yeah. I mean, usually Onama that's how he wins. Usually he's like losing a fight until he wins it. That's what he did against, I felt like he did the last fight against, was it Santos? I didn't feel like, I just feel like he's super athletic. He's got crazy power, but his takedown defense for me and his wrestling are not good, and his grappling is not that good. He just tries to use his athleticism and explosiveness to get out of positions, and I don't think that that's going to work in this fight. So I'm going to take one of my favorite bets just in general on JSP is round 2, round 3 props on him. It's always live, whether or not he gets a finish. I think the one time he didn't get a finish in a 2-3, he had position, fucking beating the living shit out of the damage and elbowing him. And then they stopped the fight so that they could take a look at the eye to make sure in the cut. And then they don't give him the same position going down. I was one of the angriest times I've ever been watching a fucking fight. This is just the dumbest shit ever. So JSP round 2 plus 750, round 3 plus 1,000. I do also think that the sub in this fight is going to be live. I do feel like he's going to have chances to get the sub, and I think it's plus 1,700, plus 2,300 on those. Don't get me wrong. He obviously could finish either way, but I think at those numbers, those are also good to maybe small stab at if you're or stab at small if you're taking the round 2 and round 3 on JSP. I do think he gets him out, and I do think he finishes him later in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I like Pierce 2-3 here, 700, 1,100 if you have Hard Rock. The thing with Pierce is even a Christian Rodriguez fight. Look at how many times he had Rodriguez in trouble. This guy is a fucking finisher. He goes for it. To be honest, that Brito fight, Brito was looking like he was gassing hard, slowing down. He got the choke. Props to him. But I honestly think he cooks Brito there. If that fight happens again, I would take Pierce.
I would bet it 10 times in a row. I would bet the same bet that I lost 10 times in a row.
Choked him, no problem. But he was getting to him, and he was, I think, going to eventually finish him. To be honest,
he lost his focus in that fight. He just lost his focus.
The thing with him is he always puts his neck. Even Christian Rodriguez had him in some deep ass guillotines. Yep. Right? Yep. He just puts himself. He's tough as nails. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that one with Brito is Brito. First of all, is super strong, and second of all, his chokes are nasty, bro. They're nasty. So, he just got under that. He got under and got the darce, and he had his head. He was done. He was done. The squeeze was too hard. I think Pierce is gonna get him down. Onama is gonna probably explode like he normally does, early. But you know what happens with explosions, Tim? You get tired, bro. You get tired. And the difference between Pierce and when you look at a guy like Landwehr is that Landwehr was a dummy in that fight. He could have easily finished. He's getting up. He's celebrating. He's walking away. It's bro, are you here to fucking finish, win this fight? What are you doing? And, the other fight against
Jones.
Mason Jones, I mean, he was getting ragdolled. He was getting big brothered for the most part. That was at 55, no problem. And Jones, he's pretty good as well, and he's kind of vicious. I just think for control purposes and being on top, I think Pierce is a little bit more dangerous. He's a little bit more dangerous getting your back. He's a little bit more dangerous with the ground and pound. And I think he's better, just a better finisher on the ground. I mean, even Gabriel Santos, had Onama in a couple of sub attempts, and not that they were any deep, the armbar was kind of deep. But yeah, I just think at this point, man, and don't get me wrong, I think this is a close fight. I don't have a side. I do think Onama could hit him and hit him hard. That's why I played the under 2.5 here. I think that's where the value's at, in my opinion. Because I think it's kind of if Pierce fails at getting takedowns, he's probably going to get knocked out. But if he doesn't, I just think he's going to eat this guy alive on the ground, to be honest with you. The way he exploded against Landwehr or Mason Jones, I don't think it's going to happen here. Maybe once or twice early, but Pierce is just going to keep coming. He's going to keep coming, and he's going to pound you when you're on bottom, bro. He's not gonna let off, So we do need to say that Onama missed weight by 2.5 pounds. Maybe he did it on purpose. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, Pierce 2-3 here for me. It's a theme of this card for me, honestly. A lot of 2-3, a lot of 2-3. I don't know. That's just where I see the value on this card, to be honest. There's not much value anywhere else. We'll move on. Fight 10. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 6-0 Johannata Denise versus the 12-4 Austin Lane. This one's mine. All right. Hold on to your horses here. Austin Lane, round 2 is 1,200. Austin Lane, round 3 on Hard Rock is 6,000. No, sorry. On Fanatics is 7,000. It's way off. If you have Fanatics, if you have Hard Rock, those numbers are completely off. Now, with that being said, I think Denise probably KOs him early. But isn't there questions about Denise's cardio? Isn't there questions that if Austin Lane is a little bit smart in his brain and decides, hey, let me clinch with this guy. Let me try to wrestle. Let me try to hold him up against the cage. Let me tire him out a little bit. Is there not a world where Austin Lane gets this guy tired and finishes later? Of course there is. Austin Lane sucks. He does like this when he's striking, dude. He's like, hit me in the chin. So probably gets knocked out. But at these numbers, with a guy like Austin Lane, who's shown historically to have good cardio for heavyweight, he's athletic. He's shown to have good cardio. He has late round finishes. He's been late. The other guy's never been past 1. What am I supposed to think here? So, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer to play these numbers. 6,000 and 7,000 in round 3 for Austin Lane. What the fuck's going on here? Yeah, I'll play him. No problem. He's probably going to get knocked out early, but we're looking for value, and I think that's where the value is here. What's the value? Round 1 KO for Denise at minus money? That I don't see value in that, honestly. I don't. Even though I think he might get it, there's no value at that. You're telling me this happens at over 50% clip. It's hard for me to see it, honestly. It's hard. So, the guy has questions. I need these questions to be answered. If he gets taken down, what happens when he's on his back? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, most likely KO1 Denise, but I have to play 2-3 on Lane. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I agree with you. I think the only part I think I wouldn't necessarily agree with is, I mean, it's just not a Lambo. But I think like if these guys fought 100 times, I think the outcome is probably 65% of the time he's knocking him out in round 1. Like I think that like there's a pretty good, like I think it's not like it's not great value. Like I think at 60 you're getting maybe a little bit, you're talking about minus 110 or so, minus 120 on him getting a KO. It's never a good thing to bet minus props. So I agree with you there, but I do think that he knocks him out at a very high clip, just from the fact that Lane, just like you said, his striking defense is piss poor, been knocked out in a ton of his losses, almost all of his losses, I think. And for me, it's the only Lambo that I would go with. I like yours. I think that that's good if he does. I do think that there's a path if the craziness happens in this fight. But I'll go with like another kind of version of what you're saying, like that Lane comes out in round 1 is successful at like cage pushing and maybe gets him down and is able to stall, and then round 2 just gets bonked. Like, so like to me, I think that it's most likely in round 1, but you're hanging KO2 for Denise at plus 800. I'll take a shot at that. I don't think it's KO3 for him. I think that he probably gets him out in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to play him like that, yeah, I mean, round 2 KO, I guess.
Yeah.
But he hasn't proven to me that. I don't know what he's going to look like in round 2. That's the issue.
Yeah, no, he could look great. You never know. I mean,
100%. He could look like he's fucking golden in round 2. Yeah, I don't know that. That's for sure. I agree with you. I don't know how he's going to look in round 2, but yeah. Let's move on. Fight number 11. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 17-4 Kareem Silva versus the 17-8 Ariane Lipski. And this one is yours, Tim.
So I'm a big believer in the betting game with that. You got to know when to get off the train. And when to get, when to get on the train and when to get off. And I feel like the Silva for me, not the Silva, I've actually bet her both times. I feel like the Lipski for me, both these fighters have been very profitable on, but Lipski, her last couple fights have been really, really good. I missed on the sub in the last fight, but I had the KO prop and it was like inches away from happening in that fight. And then I had her decision in the 2 decisions that she had at plus, like both were plus 400. I think I may have also had the split decision against Grasso, or was it not Grasso? It was Gatto. So yeah, to me, I've done well with Lipski's fights. I've also, like, Silva's been really good as well, including her when she fought that man in Dana White Contender Series, that Asian man that. She was a man, by the way, just letting everybody know for the record. It is known. I think Silva in this fight early is going to be good. I think round 1 plus 300, round 2 plus 700. I would not rule out a KO in this. I think everybody's on the split, or on the sub prop for Silva, because that's usually how she's finished. But if you're telling me that Antonina Shevchenko can look like fucking Khabib on top and just beating the living shit out of Lipski and getting a ground and pound finish the way that she did, there's no way in the world you can't tell me that Silva could do that as well. So to me, Silva also dropped Moroz with a powerful overhand right and then hurt her. So I feel like, I don't feel like her striking is great, but I feel like she's got power on the feet. I feel that Lipski has shown that she can be knocked out both standing as well as on the ground. So I like round 1, round 2 for Silva, and I don't honestly even hate the KO 2 for Silva at plus 1,700. I think it's probably in the first 2 rounds that she gets a finish. I don't think it's going to be in round 3.
Yeah, I have a pretty big bet on Silva by KO. I got 525 earlier. It's gone down. I still think you can get around 450 on Bet Rivers Unibet. I still think it's a bet on Silva, just because here's the thing with Silva. Like, yeah, her last 6 wins have been sub, right? But prior to that, she had a bunch of fucking KOs. And if you watch her, she hits very fucking hard for WMMA. Like, she just does. Like you just mentioned, she dropped Moroz with a right hand, right? Moroz then shot into a guillotine after she was hurt, basically like a club and sub, right? Like, if she hurts Lipski, you know what Lipski's going to do, Tim? She's going to bite down and try to throw. And that's how I think she's going to get knocked out. And the other thing is, if you look at Lipski historically, she's gotten knocked out a bunch of times. You know what I'm saying? If Antonina can ground and pound you, why can't Silva do it, right? And the other thing is, when you look at Lipski, and she hasn't really fought big hitters. The big hitter she faced, right, in Priscilla Cachoeira, put her to sleep, right? I think Karine Silva's a big hitter, even though she has a lot of subs. I look at how girls are throwing, and when she throws hard, and I think she hurts girls when she hits. And so that's the issue here for Lipski. Like, if she's going to do her normal bite down and throw, I think she's going to get hurt pretty fucking bad if Silva lands on her. So there's that. And there's the other portion of it where it's ground and pound. She can absolutely ground and pound her here. So I still think 450 has value. The other thing that I think has value as well, honestly, is Lipski decision at 4.5 to 1. I do think, I know a lot of people think, hey, Silva's a gas bag. She tires. She's going to, I don't think Lipski finishes her here, to be honest. I think if she wins, it's a decision. And I think most of the finishing equities on the opposite side on Silva. Might be wrong, but I like Silva KO, Lipski decision, kind of that mix there in this fight. Yeah, let's move on. There is 430 of you in here. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate you all. Please hit the like. Please subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask. With that, we'll move on. Co-main event of the night. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is a 21-9 Ryan Spann versus the 15-3 Bogdan Guskov, and we have violence all over this fight. There's nothing but violence in this fight. And there's quite honestly a line that's off. And I don't care, who I think wins. I think Span wins here, probably. But Guskov KO1 is 410, right? Guskov KO1 is 4-1. What do we know about Ryan Span? Fucking gets hurt. He gets knocked out. He gets subbed in round 1. It's club and sub. It's all types of things, right? The guy just gets finished a lot in round 1. He gets knocked out or club and subbed. He's going to swing. He's not very intelligent when it comes to fighting. He doesn't use the path of least resistance. He has a big potential to knock out Guskov as well in round 1. But his odds are a lot less, and I don't know why. I think it should be equal. Both guys can knock each other out in round 1. Now, Span can also probably sub him in round 1, which is why maybe the KO is a lot less. But I'm just going to give out flat one play here. Guskov KO1. It's 410. I'm going to play it no matter what. I like this line is if you're giving me 4-1 on a guy that just wins like 90% of his fights by KO1, then I'm going to fucking take it against a guy that gets knocked out in round 1, a big deal, a huge portion of the time. So, yeah, Guskov KO1 plus 410.
Yeah, like you said, this is just probably the most volatile fight that we have in the card. You can see it going a bunch of different ways. Guskov has been to me, I was trying to fade him with Zach piece of shit Palga, who didn't do anything there. So to me, it's like if you're trying to fade him there, you almost have to try to take shots on Span. I have 3, but there 2 are the same, of the same round. I think round 1 sub for Span is plus 380. Round 2 sub is plus 1400, and just plain old round 2, just either method is plus 700. I think that would be my favorite one. I feel like if he can stay safe, Guskov is I feel like he's kind of a gas bag, and I do feel like also I don't feel like Span is not a front loaded fighter. He is a front loaded fighter, but I think that he can sustain doing stuff in round 2. So yeah, Span round 2 plus 700, round 1 sub plus 380, round 2 sub plus 1400. I think getting subbed by Volkan Ozdemir is just a gigantic red flag. And I think to your credit and what you're saying about Guskov is though, Volkan was wrestling. Volkan tried to wrestle against him because he did not want to strike with him. So I think that he knew the assignment in that fight, and I thought that he fought smart in that fight. So. Yeah, give me any one of those. If it's a round 1 sub, fine. But round 2 would be better for me for Span. Round 2 plus 700, round 2 sub plus 1400.
Yeah, if it goes later, yeah. Span, I think, finishes. I have a hard time seeing this fight going even out of round 1, to be honest. Just do
you think they have the quadrilogy after the trilogy fight here? With
the only way it goes out of round 1 is if Span is smart and he grapples. But even then, I kind of think maybe Span puts it on him on bottom, honestly. So
I think he does. Yeah, I think he does.
All right. Let's move on. It is the main event of the night, and it is in the flyweight division. It is the 19-3-1 Matthias Nicola versus the 24-8 Alex Perez. 438 live viewers, Tim. Give them what you have here in the main event.
Oh man, this is an interesting one. I think I was gonna go with a basic prop, but there's a couple same game parlays that are pretty good on this fight. So I'll give out the prop that I think is most likely to hit first, and then I'll go with the same. I'll just say it with the same game parlay as if you want to play it. But to me, I think I think the fight could go a couple different ways. I think it could be Nicola staying at range. He's always really, really low volume. He's gotten outstruck in 3 out of 4 of his decision victories. But he lands bigger and he just has bigger moments. I think that Nicolao's takedown defense is very good. I think that his jiu-jitsu is very good. The knock on Nicolao has been his chin. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the guy's got a granite chin like fucking Drew Dober or something like that. But I also don't think that it's like he's like on, like wobbly legs on jabs. Like it's not like Matt Schnell here. It's not like we're talking about like, Malcolm Gordon and shit like this. I think that he got kneed by Royval. He got head kicked. And I think that both of those shots knock out most guys if they connect on them. I'm not saying they're memes, but I just think that those are really good shots. And I think the one knockout outside of that is a genuine knockout. But 2 out of 3 of his losses, I think, happened to majority of fighters. So I'm not necessarily considering him to be chinny at this stage in the game. If I see later on that he's starting to get wobbled and be on chicken legs and doing the chicken dance on these jabs, and fine, I'll change my opinion on him. But I think it's kind of been a little bit overblown on the narrative on his chin. I also think Perez is very low volume. I think Perez doesn't, if he's not grapple fucking you and getting top position, he doesn't really strike. He's got good leg kicks, things like that he might be able to use here. But to me, I feel like it's not just like another narrative that you hear from people is like Perez is only getting subbed by like champions. It's like, yeah, he's the last times he got subbed for sure, but he's also been subbed by fucking scrubs too. Like he got subbed twice by 2 guys that were not good. He got subbed by 1 guy that was pretty solid, but like he sticks his neck in bad places. It's just the same thing as Jonathan Pierce. Like he just puts his neck there to be subbed. He gets positioned to be guillotined almost every single fight that he's in. And if you get him against solid grapplers, then of course they're going to get him on that. So to me, I think that Nicolau sub at plus 300 is like he's going to have 25 minutes to catch him once. He had a good guillotine attempt against Manel Kape. And, that being said, I mean, I think that the Nicolau sub plus 300 is fine. But I'll finish off by saying that if the fight does go, instead of for me like taking the decision prop or something like that with Nicolau, if the fight does go, you can get a same game parlay for like one's 1,100 and one is 3,500. The 1,100 is no winner, but it's tie on takedowns, most significant strikes for Alex Perez, and then the fight goes to decision is 11-1. And then if you add Nicolau money line, it's 35-1. And I think that that's actually good, man, because I think that it is possible that he could defend takedowns, hit him with the better strikes, maybe take some leg kicks that are, just adding up volume and stuff like that for Perez, and then he wins a decision where he's just barely outstruck. So I mean, you're talking 35-1. It's like almost like a borderline Lambo parlay right there. So I think that those are not bad, 11-1, and you don't have to choose who wins the decision on that. You just have to goes to decision, tie for takedowns. Most significant strikes for Perez is 11-1, and then again, moneyline Nicolau is plus 3,500. I think those are solid actually if it goes.
Yeah, that was a long breakdown, Tim. You have a shit ton of plays on this fight. For me, I'm just going to give a simple split decision here. It's 525 on MGM. I think this fight's going to go. The way Nicolau fights is low volume, skirting the cage. Kind of feel like watching Perez now, he's very low volume as well. There might be some grappling exchanges. I don't think Nicolau is going to have success taking down Alex Perez, to be honest. And, quite frankly, I don't think Alex Perez should be taking down Nicolau either. And he has very good takedown defense as well. So it's like this probably standing, probably a low volume back and forth. I do think both guys are pretty damn durable, to be honest. I don't want to say pretty damn durable. I want to say they're durable. Okay. Both guys are durable. It's still flyweight division guys. Remember that. Low volume guys. I mean, this was plus money to go to distance. I honestly don't get it. I like it. I mean, split decision, 525. Look at how Nicola fights, guys. The way Nicola fights, it's a split decision waiting to happen. Honestly, it just is. You know, a lot of these fights are close. They say unanimous, but believe me when I tell you, these fights are pretty damn close. And now it's 5 rounds with, you know, probably not a lot of top time from either guy to like make it clear they won these rounds. Yeah, 5 1/4 to 1 here.
It's a great line.
I honestly think it's really good. It's on MGM. I gave out split earlier in the week at 550 to my Discord, and they hammered it. And now it's down 4 to 1 on DK. I think that line was really good. Honestly, it's a play of mine as well. Fight to end and split. It's just one of those, man. Yeah, maybe Nicola can knock him out. Maybe, you know, something happens, sub, whatever. But it's flyweight. It's their first, you know, I think Nicola's first time to go 5 rounds too. He's got to be cautious. He's got to kind of pace himself. He already paces himself to begin with in a 3-round fight. You know, imagine now it's a 5-round fight. Fuck, I got to take my time, you know, even more.
These 5 rounders too, man. You got like, there's so many of them that are splits that aren't splits. Like there's so many of them that they are not judging these 5-round fights well. So I agree with that. Honestly, that was going to be my Lambo as well. But I figured like I'd go with the same game parlay and the sub just to kind of switch it up, because I do feel like I think like the finishing equity is like 75% Nicola sub and 25% like
well, I mean, you don't think Nicola has some KO upside?
Not as much. I mean, like he hits harder. He does hit harder. I just feel like it's more likely a sub than anything. I would think maybe like 10% outcome for him to be a KO.
Yeah. I mean, he hits pretty hard, but yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But that's what you're saying though. What you're saying is feeds into the same game parlay that I'm talking about completely. Like if it's a super, super low striking like battle, the only leg that's like really, really questionable is Perez out striking him, which is like that's what
you don't think, but takedowns is a little like, so I mean I could see Perez landing a takedown.
I could too. Yeah, I could too. That's I just think that I mean it's been
plus it sucks here. I'll say this. It sucks that it's 5 rounds too. Like you're gonna have to fade a takedown for 5 rounds, you know. Maybe the guy catches a kick, and you know, it's like 5 fucking rounds to fade a takedown. It sucks. Like I honestly want to see. I want to see the numbers. Honestly, it would be a good thing. In 5-round fights, how many times have there been where there's been no takedowns, especially in the lighter weight classes? I would love to see that, because I kind of feel like 5 rounds sucks for that. But I see where you're coming from. Like I said the same thing. I don't know if there's going to be really takedowns in this fight, but 5 rounds, it's like, fuck, you know, it could happen, right? But I mean, they're long shots, right? They're 35 to 1. You're telling me, and 11 to 1. Like, okay, well, sprinkle it like it's not bad, you know.
Yep.
All right. 466 live viewers. It's Lambo parlay time. I cooked up something different this time. So 1, I have my own Lambo parlay that I'm going to give out. 2, Tim has his own. And 3, since we have 470 live viewers, can you guys give me your best Lambo plays out there? And I'm going to cook one up for the people in chat as well. So 1 is going to be mine, 1 is going to be Tim's, and the third one is going to be the people's Lambo parlay, Tim. So
you go first, and then that way when I go, you can start to look at theirs. And
okay, the people's. Come on, guys! So many people in chat here. 471, and no one's putting anything. What the heck is going on here? And I'm going to go with the consensus. That's what I'm going to do. All right, mine. It's a mix and match of KO prop for Victor Henry and Ilan top. It's 2-3 KO for both guys. I think they get it here. Honestly, I feel confident in this Lambo parlay, and I think it's probably going to hit. I don't know which rounds, but 2-3 KO on either guy here. Victor Henry and James Ilan top. I think this one's going to hit this week, Tim. I'm telling you guys, this one's hitting. This is my Lambo parlay this week. And yeah, I mean, I don't know the odds. I didn't really cook up the odds. I know they're huge. If you hit like 3 and 3, it's going to be very big. But any one of them, if it hits, it's going to be pretty damn big. So, Tim, you give us yours while I look at what these look. No one's putting anything in chat. 470 live viewers, and I get like 5 people putting something in chat. This is ridiculous. All right, Tim, go ahead.
This is I'm on the. I mean, I did 2 round robins with the same fighters. One is just a round 2, round 3, and then the other is KO2, KO3. And it is for Petrovic and Victor Henry. I think that I also don't hate, honestly, I wouldn't hate a JSP 2-3 combination with Petrovic too, if you wanted to sprinkle on that one as well. So yeah, the 2-3s, the 2-2 is 23-1, the 3-2 is 44-1, 2-3, 41-1, and 77. That's just the 2-3 alone, like not doing KO with it. But then if you go KO 2-3 for both Petro and Victor, it becomes 59-1, 101-1, 103-1, and 181-1.
All right. I'm scanning this, and so far, I am looking at, oh, man, a couple of people, Lipski sub. Wow. That's definitely one that's not probably going to be in here because I don't think anybody's put that. Silva sub round 2. Which one's Silva? Or we have a couple of Silvas.
That's probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Onama sub. Oh boy. Kaio ITD. Jesus Christ. We have some off the wall ones here. JSP 2-3 says mushroom. So far, honestly, can you guys keep them going? Because I need to look. There's no real consensus here. I guess. No, there's no real consensus. Yet, at least. Maze KO says the sub club and sub. Maze KO. Benitez Machado fight ends round 1. 2. Jesus, those are a lot. Alien top round 2-3. I gave that. Nobody else gave that. So no. Denise KO, Maheshate KO. Man, we're all over the place. All right. People's
seems like Silva is the biggest one.
Yes.
That's obvious.
Silva around 2-3 though.
No, I would just probably put Silva at like let's use your Silva KO or do like a round with her if you think it's like round 2.
All right, let's do Silva KO 1-2.
Okay.
And well, you know what? No, don't do KO. Don't do KO. Because a lot of people like sub for Silva. So let's do, I see sub 2 quite a bit on her, actually.
Yeah, I do too. Yep.
Let's do Silva. Let's do Silva sub 2. Let's do Silva sub 2 because that's what I see a lot of. And Span KO2 looks like there's a couple of them now. No. Medic sub 3. No. Yeah. I mean, the other one could be
how about
Span KO2. Yeah, that's another.
Span 2 and then Silva 2.
Span. Yeah, let's do, instead of putting the KO, let's do Span 2 and Silva 2. What does that come out to, Tim?
Hold on a second.
Span round 2, Silva round 2. What do we got there?
Getting it right now.
That's the people's. That's the people's parlay.
63 to
63-1. That's good enough. Span round 2, Silva round 2 for the People's Parlay. 63-1. Mine's is Henry and Ilan top, KO 2-3. And what was yours, Tim? Sorry.
I round robin Petrovic and Victor Henry 2-3, okay. and then I did it also with the KO 2-3.
All right, guys. All 13 fights, Lambo parlays, everything done. Good luck tomorrow. Hope we crush it. There's a link down below for me if you want to get in my Discord. $25 a month. I mean, it's well worth it. Believe me when I say it. Just for live bets alone. I mean, we crush it every damn week. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. I thank you for all the support. 470 people in here. I appreciate all you guys for supporting this show. This show's been growing and growing every week. So without you guys, this show wouldn't even be here. So thank you very much. Thank you to my co-host, always here, giving his takes. Appreciate him as well. I just appreciate everything in general, man. I appreciate life. I appreciate waking up every morning, and I appreciate this life that I have, honestly, doing what I love. I love breaking down fights. I love doing this show. Yeah, I'm just appreciative of everything, to be honest. Tim, where can they find you? No show tomorrow with you and Sean. I know I saw that. But yeah, tell them where they can find you and anything else.
Here Friday nights, Twitter at Timothy_Troiano. And yeah, I'll be in the Discord with you tomorrow, cashing these live bets. Thanks as well. Thanks as well to you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you guys again. One last thing. Let's cash those tickets for UFC Vegas 91. See you all.